Imagine a storm so large, Earth could disappear inside it. A storm with winds faster than anything humans have ever survived. A storm that has been spinning for longer than your country has existed. And the scariest part? It is shrinking. Not because it is dying peacefully, but because something inside Jupiter may be changing. This is Jupiter's Great Red Spot, and for centuries, we thought we were looking at a storm. But the closer we get, the more it starts to look like a warning. Jupiter is not a planet like Earth. It has no solid ground, no oceans, no mountains, no surface you could stand on. It is a giant world of gas, pressure, lightning, radiation, and storms. And sitting inside that chaos is a red wound bigger than our planet. From far away, it looks calm, almost beautiful. A soft red oval floating in Jupiter's clouds. But that beauty is a lie, because inside that oval, winds scream around the edge at hundreds of miles per hour. Clouds rise higher than surrounding storms. Heat leaks from below, and the entire system rotates like a living machine. On Earth, storms die. Hurricanes lose strength when they hit land. They run out of warm water. They break apart. But Jupiter has no land, no shore, no mountains to tear the storm apart. So the Great Red Spot keeps spinning, year after year, century after century, like Jupiter built a storm and forgot how to turn it off. The first mystery is simple. How old is it? Astronomers have seen a giant spot on Jupiter for centuries. Some observations go back to the 1600s, but scientists are still not completely sure if that ancient spot was the same storm we see today. What we know for sure is that the modern Great Red Spot has been watched continuously since the 1800s. That means it rotates in the opposite direction of a normal low-pressure storm system. It is not just spinning randomly. It is locked between powerful jet streams, like a monster trapped between two invisible rivers. And those rivers keep feeding its rotation. That is why the Great Red Spot does not drift away. It is imprisoned, but also protected. Jupiter's winds hold it in place, and that makes it even stranger, because storms are supposed to lose energy. Everything should slow down eventually, but the Great Red Spot has kept going for generations. So where is the energy coming from? For years, scientists could only guess. Then NASA sent Juno. Juno did not just take pretty pictures. It flew close to Jupiter, close enough to study what was happening beneath the clouds. And what it found made the Great Red Spot more terrifying. This storm is not just painted on the surface. It has roots, deep roots. NASA's Juno mission found that the Great Red Spot may extend about 200 miles or 300 kilometers below the cloud tops. That is deeper than any ocean on Earth. So when you look at the red spot, you are not just seeing the top of a storm. You are seeing the visible scar of something buried deep inside Jupiter. Think about that. But there is another mystery. Why is it red? That sounds like a simple question. It is not. Scientists still do not fully know what gives the Great Red Spot its color. The red may come from chemicals in Jupiter's atmosphere being lifted high into the sunlight. Ammonia, methane, other compounds. Radiation from the sun may change them, break them apart, recombine them into reddish material. But nobody has a perfect answer. That is what makes it creepy. The most famous storm in the solar system, and we still cannot fully explain its color. It is like Jupiter has a bruise that refuses to heal. And the color changes. Sometimes the red spot is deep crimson, sometimes pale orange, sometimes almost salmon pink, almost like the storm breathes. Jupiter has hundreds of storms. The Great Red Spot is just the famous one. That should scare you, because it means Jupiter's violence is not rare. It is normal. The planet is covered in storms, white ovals, brown barges, cyclones near the poles, lightning systems bigger than continents, cloud layers moving in opposite directions. Jupiter is not calm except from a distance. Up close, it is a world trying to tear itself apart, but somehow it holds together. And that is what makes the Great Red Spot so important. It is the best visible example of Jupiter's hidden power, a giant vortex showing us what happens when a planet has no solid surface, no friction, and more internal energy than Earth can imagine. If you could fly above it, the view would be unreal. Below you, clouds would spiral in red, orange, white, and brown. The storm would stretch beyond the horizon. You would not see the full shape. You would only see motion. A wall of clouds, a rotating ocean of gas, lightning flickering in the depths, and the winds would be so violent that no human aircraft could survive. But even if you somehow survived the winds, Jupiter would still kill you. The radiation would damage electronics. The pressure would increase as you sank. The gas would grow thicker. There would be no ground, no landing, only descent. You would fall through clouds into darker layers. The sunlight would fade. The pressure would crush. The temperature would rise. And the red spot above you would continue spinning like nothing happened. That is the horror of Jupiter. It does not need to attack you. It simply exists. And the great red spot is its warning label. For centuries, we saw it through telescopes and thought it was beautiful. A red jewel on a giant planet. But now we know better. It is a storm with roots deeper than Earth's oceans. A storm with winds faster than human survival. A storm that may be powered by heat from below. A storm that is shrinking, changing, and possibly entering a new phase. And we still do not know exactly why it is red. We still do not know exactly how long it will last. We still do not know whether it is dying or becoming something else. That uncertainty is the hook. Because every time we point a telescope at Jupiter, we are watching a countdown. Maybe the great red spot will fade within our lifetime. Maybe future generations will look at Jupiter and see only a pale scar where the storm used to be. Or maybe the shrinking is part of a cycle. Maybe it has done this before. Maybe it will tighten, strengthen, and survive for centuries more. We do not know, and that is what makes it powerful. The Great Red Spot is not terrifying because it is big. It is terrifying because it is old, because it is changing, because it reaches deeper than it should, because it has survived longer than our science can fully explain, and because it reminds us of something uncomfortable. The solar system is not peaceful. It only looks peaceful from far away. Jupiter's red spot is proof. A storm larger than Earth. A storm older than modern civilization. A storm that may be slowly collapsing or preparing for another century of violence. And right now, as you watch this, it is still there, turning in the dark, silent from space, but screaming with winds no human will ever hear. Jupiter's Great Red Spot is not just a storm. It is the solar system's oldest warning, and we are lucky. It is 500 million miles away.